everyone, welcome back on our road to luxury. If you're new here, my name is Amanda Simora and I'm a pastry chef from Johannesburg in South Africa. For those who are returning, I just wanted to thank you guys for returning for this new video. And guys, thank you so much for the love, for the support. It was of my first video. I felt the love, I felt the support. It was so heartwarming. I just wanted to send I'm a tiny girl, but then I just want to send a very, very, very big, grateful, warm hug to everyone, and just thank you guys for working this journey with me. You started it. I mean, like, the response rate, it was everything, guys. So thank you so much for viewing, for sharing, for the constructive criticism, for the new tips, and everything. I know I recorded my first video in what which or I recorded my first video in wait, there's landscape and then portrait. I recorded the first one in portrait. So yeah, thank you guys for telling me the YouTube terms and how to work about those things. Please continue sharing some tips and information with me, guys. Thank you very much. So for this video today, I'm going to go with you guys through my culinary journey, how I became a pastry chef, the process that went into it, and the jobs that I have had so far. And is going to culinary school worth it? Let's discuss about that starting right now. So my journey into culinary school, I remember I applied when I was 17. That's when I inquired, because I actually thought that maybe if I did that after high school, there won't be any space for me. There won't be any space for me, which was I think it was quite a cute thing. So I applied. So how did I get to Capsicum? I went to Capsicum Culinary Studio, the one campus which is in Rosebank. So I got to know them through the internet. I just googled culinary schools which were around Johannesburg. I think around Johannesburg and Pretoria at around that time. So Capsicum popped out the most, and it's one of the most recognized schools around. There are other schools, for example, I think there's HTA, there is the other one, International Hotel School, the IHS. I know there's FBI, and then the other one in Maboneng called Johannesburg Culinary Institute, if I'm not mistaken. But then I fell in love with Capsicum. I fell in love with the red and the blacks and the white and everything. It was cool for me. So I talked to them, and then they told me to come back after I finished like high school, or when I'm about to finish high school. So soon after high school, I went in there, and then the application process is quite an easy process, because when you go there, they give you your own student advisor who works with you along your application and everything. So I worked with Ayanda. She takes all the stress for you, so the application process is definitely not stressful for you. She takes all the stress and she does all the paperwork and everything. All you just need to do is be there during your appointments and stuff. So if you're going to be a foreign student, for example, I was a foreign student, you will need to have your study visas and everything. The school gives you the letter. All you have to do is just go and apply your visa, just the same way as you might have applied for the other ones. If it may be you're coming from another country and then you want to study like for whatever culinary diploma or degree that you want, then just go into the VFS website and get to know about your student permit and what you could need and so on. So, and another thing for us international students, if you do not have a parent or a if your parent is not a South African citizen or anything, then they will require you to pay all your fees and tuition in full. They'll also require you to have medical aid, but then medical aid comes with the study visa. So they'll require you to pay your tuition in full, which could be a hassle at times, because it is quite a lot. I think during my year it was 100,000 rands, including city and guilds exams. So that was it during my year. But then just go there, talk to people with Capsicum, and then they'll give you the structure of the fees this year. So after registration, I think we paid about 30,000 up front. So the registration is included in your fees. So for example, mine was around 100. So after paying that 30, that's when we that includes like your uniforms. So you get 2 chef jackets. I got 2 chef pants, 2 aprons, 2 what is it, by the way, 2 oh my goodness, they are going to take away my chef card. Yeah, 2 hats, 2 neckerchiefs, and all of that. And then you get a textbook. So you get a Capsicum textbook, a student handbook, a recipe book, and then you also get a huge big textbook or recipe book from I just wanted to grab it if I have it nearby over here, because this is my workspace, guys. I think I do have it. Yeah, this is it. So a very huge textbook from the American Culinary Institute. Yes, from the Culinary Institute of America. Yay! From the Culinary Institute of America. So it's a very huge book with all the information, food science and everything. So that was it. And then you also get your knives and all of that. So yeah, and then after registration, that's when orientation happened. It was okay. I think it was a 1-week orientation. The first 2 days, the rules and stuff, once you get through that, it's fun. We had games and everything, and then that's when we're like inducted into the school and everything. You get a tour. So that's when school started. So I went there in 2020. So that's when school started. And when school started, I think we had 1 week. We did the first module, the first practicals, which are like your knife skills, piping skills and stuff. And then the second practical, where I think we had, that's when we started baking and stuff in the first week. Then you get, so a module goes like this: you learn, you have a test, you have an assignment and everything. So I'll break down the modules next week when we talk about the career opportunities of pastry chef, because there is almost a career in each and every module that you do. So we'll do that next week. And then after that, lockdown happened. It was sad, because it was just 2 weeks in. Lockdown hit us guys, it hit us very, 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 very hard. But then we managed to learn through MS Teams. And then after I think it was about June when we went back to level 3, we were able to go back to schools, because at least for us, we were able to go in smaller groups. And then our kitchens, like they like the setup in a way that you are actually social distanced in the kitchen. So it was perfect for us. So we went back in there, did all the practicals that we had to do. But then unfortunately, maybe instead of doing all the 10 dishes, maybe in pairs or anything, you had to do them in groups. So it was a matter of you going back home and recapping on all the other dishes that you did not get to do, or that you had to do as a group, and then you did not have plenty of time to get through them in detail. But then we managed to walk through each and everything. So it was, so in the journey is like 6 months in school and then 6 months in industry, depending on the course which you're going to do. So since I did professional patisserie only, I had 6 months in school, 6 months in industry. So after the 6 months in school, around September or October, I think we were done. That's when I had to go for industry, and I looked for my own place. I went to a bakery in Rosebank that's called La Atelier Bakery. It was a French bakery, and mainly the aim was to supply Johannesburg and most of the hotels around Johannesburg with baked pastries and everything, rolls and breads and stuff. So we were supplying cafes and all the other things, and the restaurants. For at some time, I remember when I went there for the Four Seasons was one of the hotels which we were making stuff for. It was hectic during that time because it was almost the first of season. It was November, December. It was a busy time. It was very hectic, but then it was also very fun because you would get to work in different sections. There was a hot kitchen, there was the pastry side, which is like small cakes and custom made cakes. And the chef whom I got to work with over there, Chef Ashley, she was amazing. She taught me a lot, and most of those things I was able to come and apply into Cake Luxury, because I also started Cake Luxury when I was still, before going into industry, actually when I was still in school. And then yeah, she taught me a lot. I went through all those things with her. And then I worked with another guy, the big, who did tarts and everything, in the, yeah, everything like that, your tarts and everything. So you would come one day and then maybe you're working with cake side, another day you're working with the individual pastry sides, the other day you go to hot kitchen side, then the other day the bakery. The bakery is as weird. That's when like there was like the most work, because the bakery section was where the wholesale section was. It was where we supplied rolls and other things, like maybe restaurants come and ask for 2,000 of this, 2,000 of that, 2,000 of that. It was a lot. And then when you're a student over there, they'll give you the most boring parts of the jobs, like go make this dough, go make this dough, go make brioche, go make milk bread, go make that, and then the whole day, guys, you're busy into the scales, measuring flours and everything, and just trying to making doughs the whole day. So sometimes I'll make sure that I avoid the bakery as much as I could and go and work in other sections. So besides that, we also had a display in the front where you make pastries in the front. And then we had high teas. High teas were also good. Mostly we're doing them during weekends. People would book high teas for functions and stuff, and then we used to do high teas. So that was me from November until February. So when I went back February, that's when we went back to school for our exams. So we wrote each and every all those exams. And exam period in culinary school is fun. It is very, very, very fun, but hectic. Like the adrenaline rush, it is the most exciting thing. You'd be like, we were busy over there, so many dishes that we had to prepare in 2 days, and then in one day you think you have until 1 o'clock, and then the next hour is for cleaning is part of the exam too. You're busy whisking one thing, and then you're doing one thing, and then you have something in the oven over there, just different things going on at the same time. You have to clean and go at the same time, just a lot. We were sweating. There was no time for chit chat or anything. We'd just meet each other by the sink, and the only common thing that we'll be saying will be like, yo. That was the only common thing, like yo. And then that's it, and comes and says yo, you know what it means. And then you're going there, you're measuring something, and then the only thing that was a mode of communication was like yo. Oh yeah guys, we're burning up, it's happening over here. So that was it. But at the same time, it was fun, guys. It's like it's the most like adrenaline rush pump thing you can ever go through. If you know that feeling when you're about to do something which you're not supposed to do, it's as exciting as that. It was fun. And then after that, I think I stayed for about a month at home, March. Yeah, and then April I was called back to Latilia by the cake artist who was there. And then I went in there, and then she told me that they wanted to hire me full time. So I went in there, talked to the manager and everything, and then I was hired. So when I went in there, thinking that I was getting in there as the chef's assistant. And then after some time, she tells me that she has resigned and she's leaving, and I must be the pastry chef over there. At some point I felt like she threw me under the bus, hey, because it's a lot of responsibility to come in there just being a student. Then they're like, yeah, you'll be the chef, you'll be responsible for everything. Now it's on you. As a student you can just hide under the chef. By that time I sang selling. So she left, taught me a few things before she left, and then she left. That was it. But then I think it was hard, but I managed to pull through. I really did manage to pull through. There was such down moments where I would like almost break down and everything. And some other things, someone can teach you something, it works their own way, but it does not mean that it's going to work for you. So their own tricks and stuff might not work on you. And then there are some of other tricks which only belong to Chef Ashley. They never worked on me. I tried them, they failed, until I had to adopt my own tricks and everything. So it was a very tough period, but I'm so proud of myself because I was able to pull through until the company hired another head chef, because at that time the other chefs were also there. Some of them left, and then I was at a vulnerable point whereby I was the only pastry chef left in there. And then still new because of lockdown and everything, guys, people came and went back to their old businesses that were there before lockdown. So it was quite tough, but then I pulled through. I'm still impressed with myself until this day, because I did pull through. So, and then a head chef came in. He was amazing. He taught me a lot until this time. So many tricks. I was so happy to work with him, and also he would allow me to do anything for on my own. So I would decide what specials I wanted to put on, what new dishes I wanted to put on, and we worked together in setting up new menus and stuff. And then after that, unfortunately, latterly I had to close end of November because COVID hit them so hard, especially the second one, which we had 2021 around June, where the restaurants were had to close for a week or two. So the owner could not keep up anymore, mainly because latterly was also a new company. I think they opened 2 weeks before lockdown, just the same time when I went into school. They also opened. So yeah, they couldn't sustain it anymore, and then they had to close. And that has been my journey until right now. So that has been my journey for the last yeah, November 2021, and then December, January, and February, I've still been at home. I'm sorting out a few papers, and then I'm on the market to look for another job. But at the same time, I'm still working on my cake business and each and every other thing that could come my way, and some other projects. Hopefully, I get more along the way, so that I can be able to sustain whatever and just get a little bit of money, guys, because it's so difficult to ask for money from parents. Hey, at 21, almost 22, it's quite difficult. So that's it. That has been my journey until this time. And then, is culinary school worth it? I would say yes, especially here in South Africa, mainly because once you are done, if you haven't been there, guys, and then you're trying to be a pastry chef or get into the market without the proper qualifications, or without a diploma or a degree, it's going to be very, very difficult, because even in the job market, most recruiters will put people who have the degrees first in line before you. So just make sure you'll be at a disadvantage. And then at the same time, I feel like going to school and everything does build your esteem and morale. It helps your self-esteem, and it helps you to grasp and grab information quite easily, because you have a background knowledge. You know deeper, you know the scientific terms, you know why you are doing something, as opposed to just learning or just like that. You know you're doing something, but then you do not really understand why. And then you get to know a lot of things. If you understand some scientific components of elements, then you are able to substitute them, or make cheaper choices, or improvise wherever you can. So if you have the opportunity and you can, do go to culinary school. But does that mean that if you don't go to culinary school, you don't have a great career? No, you can have a great career, depending on you and your passion. As I have said before, your desire and your passion and your willingness to work can take you places. The rest is just it. So just weigh your options and see what you want. But at the end of the day, just do what you can. And I'll say culinary school is worth it going there, in my own opinion. But then at the same time, you can still succeed even if you do not go to culinary school, just as long as you make your way through it. And sometimes in some establishments, they could take you to culinary school once you prove yourself that you are worthy and you're doing great. I know I had a chef who trained me, who went through the same thing, started at the bottom, ended up at the top. They took him to culinary school. He went in a fair, was declared one of the best baker in South Africa amongst all the hotels. So the future is in your hands, your desire and everything. So that's it for the day, for this week. Thank you very much, guys, for joining in. Don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, share and everything. Let's follow each other on social media and all those other things, guys. I'll keep you guys posted and updated in whatever that's to come. So our next video will be on career opportunities as a pastry chef. Stay tuned. I will be posting that very, very soon, and we'll start baking after that. So have a great week, guys, and be blessed, and remember to be kind to everyone. The world needs that right now.